So this morning I'm going to use the South Tyne Trail. So we're actually going to walk alongside the railway line. And I think today there won't be any trains. Hi folks, how are you doing? So I had an excellent night last night in the hostel there. Not a YHA, so it's like a privately owned hostel. And I had a great rate. It was like £45 bed, breakfast and evening meal. And obviously I had a sneaky pint as well, mustn't forget that. And yeah, met lots of wonderful people. And it was great sharing stories and experiences. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the night. So this morning I'm trying to do 18 miles or so, following this track that I showed you initially, and then I start heading in an easterly direction. So the whole route is like a circuit, and I'm at the top of the circuit and start moving east. One other thing is I've lost a component that kind of connects my camera to a gimbal, and so I'm doing a lot of filming and what have you by hand today, so I'm a bit worried about things being a bit jittery, but I have hopefully thought of ways around these things, and hence at the moment I'm holding this at arm's length. So yeah, we shall see how we get on. Anyhow, I'm sure it won't be a problem and we'll have great fun today. The weather's looking glorious, but it's going to be cold later, I believe, and possible rain again. Right, no more talking, I must get walking. Oh. Yeah, so we've been in Cumbria and now we're moving over into Northumbria. Obviously in ye old days, Cumberland and Northumberland. And of course, the river formed part of the border. Over there we have a sign for Isaac Tea Trail, which is a 37-mile circuit round here, and one I must investigate at some point. So now on this trail we're going to Slaggyford, which does have a railway carriage as a calf from memory. The actual Pennine Way is kind of the other side of this trail, probably at this point maybe a mile away, further to the west. And it crosses quite a few fields, got lots of stiles. And even the trail I'm supposed to be following, the rooftop trail, follows that part as well. But it is interesting. When I talk to different people who are doing the Pennine Way, inevitably they choose this path. And I think it's the difference between the practical and the purist. That was the word I was looking for. And yeah, but it is interesting. I think of all the people I've spoken to, most do this particular part of the trail. And the great thing is this, for me, is that the scenery and the interest here is a lot better rather than just walking through field after field. Particularly this time of year, it's going to be quite muddy as well. So if you're doing the Pennine Way or you choose to do the Roof of England, I would definitely recommend this one for sure. Right, must carry on to Slaggyford. Yeah, if you come this way, you have to go around the houses. Well, I thought of that. I guess that's what they sell. If only it was open. So as you can see, we've come to the end of the line. But the great thing is, the trail continues. Just taking a break under the bridge, as you see. Reason being, it's starting to rain a little bit, and the forecast for the rest of the day is it progressively changes from nice sunny weather that we started with to rain and a cold wind as well. And in fact, tonight it's supposed to be down to 1 degree. That, of course, is because I'm going to do a wild camp. Yeah, not sure I'm looking forward to that, but we shall see how we get on. Yeah, so I'm having a break. One of my failings is I don't stop and rest enough. So I'm trying to be a bit more strict about having a timetable of taking breaks. But I've finished for now, so I'm going to get started again. See you later. Great, it's hailstone in now. You can see it bouncing off the floor. Apparently you can't go straight on, and there's an apology here from Ordnance Survey saying they made a mistake. And this is the alternative path. As it says there, Lambley Viaduct, 1/4 mile. So that's where we're aiming for, viaduct over there. But it's a kind of straight down and back up again, from what I've been told. Yeah, so it's an old station that's been converted, Lambley Station. But they don't like you going across the front. So as I mentioned, it's down, round and back up again. Wow, quite a house actually. And the viaduct was built in 1852. Curious. I have no idea what that is. Maybe it was, oh, made in Liverpool. So I finished with the Tyne Trail and I'm now on a road called Unthank Road. Rather strange name. I'm going to go past Unthank Hole. Yeah, a couple of miles on this back road and then kind of getting out onto the fields and what have you. And along the river a little bit, and then I'll have to get on with trying to find a well camping spot. At the moment, the weather is glorious, and the thing is, with the cloud, I wouldn't have thought it was going to go that cold, but apparently it does. Right, crack on. I guess that must be Unthank Hall. Idyllic English countryside. And I love over there, there's still a pump, a water pump. Yes, my wild camping spot for the night. So today was about 18 miles. I can't imagine the ascent was very much because, as I'm sure you saw, it was mainly flat. And the big challenge I had was the weather. One moment I was melting, the next moment I had hailstone. I was having to shelter and I was like really cold. So I put all my waterproofs on, and then, yeah, half an hour later, I had to take them off again. It was just so frustrating and annoying. Anyhow, I've got to a place in a quite remote part. In fact, I didn't see anyone all afternoon. And so I'm in this woods, which, as it's now starting to get dark, is a little bit spooky, to say the least. If you can hear that. Yeah, and tomorrow, doing about probably 15 miles or so, getting past a place called Allendale, and then the following day it's another 15 miles to get to an YHA, Edmundsbury, some small YHA that I've never heard of. And yeah, so praying for better weather and hoping I survive the night as it drops down to 1 degree. Right, see you in the morning, folks. Bye for now. Morning, folks. What a beautiful morning it is. So last night I survived. Had to have absolutely every layer. Yeah, it was cold. The problem I've got is I've geared up for 3-season camping. So 3-season tent, 3-season sleeping bag, but the temperatures were more like, well, yeah, getting towards the end of 4-season. So it was 1 degree, and even this morning it says 5 degrees, but feels like 3. And I think I can concur on that. It definitely feels that way at the moment. But beautiful with the sun out. And it's supposed to stay like this for a few hours and then get cloudy and, yeah, inevitably a bit of rain. But I've only got 15 miles to go today, so I'm fairly relaxed. And in fact, so relaxed I actually had an extra hour in bed. It's 8 o'clock this morning, which is an hour later than my usual time. Right, no more talking. I must get walking and obviously, hopefully not to forget my rucksack. See you later. Up ahead we have another farm built in a kind of castle style to protect themselves from Scottish raiders. The interesting thing about this one, you can see that it's actually on the top of a hill. There's quite a few I've seen in the past of more in the valleys and it says 1903 above it. Ah, on the postbox is a VR, which you don't see many of, obviously for Victoria reign. So up to now we've been following signs for the South Tyne Trail, but now we're back on the signs for ourselves, or the badges for ourselves, in terms of Roof of England walk. And I must compliment the badge. I really do like it. We are in a valley called Allendale, and that is the River Allen down there, and we're heading to Allendale Town. This seems like a good place for a break. I have to say, that was one of the most perfect spots for a stop. Really enjoyed the views and the sound of the water as well. Just curious, what is the best spot you've ever stopped at? I look forward to what you say. So I'm glad to see Allendale Town. It's a mile away. I'm hoping to resupply, maybe find a good calf. How random is that? Kind of like Love Either Way. Oh, and there's a squirrel. Yeah, I think it's sit here and listen to the birds. Well, basically, that was built in 1859 and it was tunnelling to try and get water that was flooding one of the mines. Yep, that's what we're looking for. I wonder which house the grouse lives at. So apparently this is Hexhamshire Common. As you can see, it's moorland. And from side to side, because we just walk across it, from leaving one road to the next road, it's 5.5 kilometres. And as you can see, it's pretty bare and desolate. I'm just glad that the weather's okay. And I can see the path just about. It starts off quite broad, but it just gets smaller and thinner. Narrower, that's the word I was looking for, all the time. And gets quite boggy in places. So I've had to do a leap of faith a few times. So glad to get across that now. It's so bleak, even in good weather. One thing I must complain about though, it's alright showing these signs now. So that's the first one I've seen since coming over the top. But you need reassurance, because over the top there's not much markers, and some of the paths are really difficult to follow. So today I managed to walk 18 miles. Now that was not the plan. I promised myself I'd try and keep to 15, so that would leave me 15 tomorrow to get to the YHA. But I couldn't help myself. I mean, that includes the fact I stayed in bed an extra hour, and then when I got to Allendale, I had some lunch. I still couldn't do less than I did. Hey ho. So yeah, I get to the YHA tomorrow, and then yeah, next few days, they're quite big days. I need to do 20 on the following 3 days, I think. So probably good. I'm getting the practice in now. Did enjoy today. As I said, it was mainly about Rivers and Allendale. Yeah, some great shots there. I like this trail in terms of it's almost like each day's got its own theme. So today was about rivers. The other day was about like the old railway track. The day before that, going over the moors. And I've got some more of the moors coming up. But yeah, I'm enjoying the variety. I wasn't quite sure what to think about this before I started, but I'm glad I'm doing it. It's definitely a good one. Other than I think the signage could be a little bit better. Right, I need to get to bed. Well, actually, a bit early for bed. But anyhow, I'm going to have a rest. And I'll see you guys in the morning.